start on my preview. Alrighty. Man. This always feels weird once I start. Hello, welcome to episode 2 of the Random Access Energy podcast. My name is Joseph. I'm here with Philip. And I'm here with Ricardo.
Hello.
Okay. I saw Philip's mouth move, but I didn't hear anything.
Oh.
There we go.
Maybe
Okay. I'm just making sure
Hey,
like we
hello.
have sound. Okay, cool.
Thank you for making sure.
So today we're going to start our walkthrough of FreeCodeCamp. We're going to begin with the responsive web design course. Right at the very beginning, first thing that they recommend, and it's what we're going to start with. Philip is going to be walking us through this. He's never done this before, right, Philip?
Right.
How much
HTML
HTML have you done before?
I've done minimal. I probably went through a few slides like of this on Codecademy, but I've done some programming. I've done some Python, Java, and C++, and I know a couple things here and there, but I've never done any front end like web stuff like this.
Okay. And so, as anybody can guess, this is being streamed live on Twitch, twitch.tv//solving relic. This is a programming podcast, so if you want to follow along, we strongly suggest that you check out the stream whenever we go live, or we're going to be uploading these to YouTube. You can find the VODs there. Just follow along so you can see the syntax, understand exactly what is being typed out, and why it is where it is, because syntax is very important when it comes to programming. This isn't going to be something that you can pick up easily just over audio alone. So, like I said, we're starting with the responsive web design certification, which goes over the basics. Philip, can you give us an overview of what exactly is in the full responsive web design certification?
Sure. So one of the one that I'll be starting in is the basic HTML. They also have basic CSS, applied visual design, applied accessibility, responsive web design principles, CSS Flexbox, CSS Grid, responsive. They have a project section, and then they have a claim your certification, which I think is. Yeah, they want you to complete your account registration. That's your certification. But as far as content-wise, it goes all the way up to even your own project. But as you see here, the sort of, I guess you could say, chapters. But today we'll be starting on basic HTML and HTML5. Joe, if you want, or Ricky, you think you want to read out, or you want to talk about HTML for a little bit, maybe like a minute?
Yeah, why don't you give us a rundown of what exactly HTML is, Ricardo?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the little paragraph they have just because I feel like they put it in good words, and I'll try to add my own little thing. So basically, HTML is a markup language. It uses a special syntax or notation to describe the structure of a web page or to the browser. So basically, it's kind of like the skeleton of the front end. You set out like the website structure, the headings, their hierarchy. Any other like elements you would need, such as like form elements, buttons.
Right.
Yeah. So it is really like the skeleton of like a web page. Yeah. And then they go into like more nuance of what the actual elements look like. They say they have like opening and closing tags. Yeah, and that's true for basically most HTML elements. I think there's a couple that don't actually have a closing tag. But yeah, it's basically just like the skeleton for the website.
Okay, sounds good. Should I get started, or anyway, you guys want to say something else?
Real quick, we are not going to be covering this entire, like, I guess we'll call it a chapter in this one single podcast. These very beginning lessons are going to go very quickly because it's simple things like making a comment, creating an anchor, using images, paragraphs, stuff like that. Very, very simple, fundamental things. We're going to blaze through them, but we don't want to cover them all in a single episode. We want to keep these kind of short, within like half hour, 45 minutes. Right. We want to take our time. We don't want to blaze through them. We want to go through and try our best to understand them as much as we can. So, without further ado, if nobody else has anything to add,
we can
get us started, Philip.
Let's do it. So, say hello to HTML elements.
Hi, HTML.
Hello. Joe, you want to say hi to HTML?
Hi, HTML.
Hello, HTML elements. So first, it looks like I'll be building a simple web page using HTML. This is my code editor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's embedded into the web page.
Which is convenient, yeah.
Yes. So this here is an HTML element. Right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Opening tags look like... So it looks like bracket, and then it's bracket is at a /.
Yes, that's a /.
Closing bracket. Interesting.
So basically, this is just going over some basic syntax for HTML.
Right.
Everything in HTML is built using these tags, and a tag is essentially something inside of the... Are those called brackets? I've just called them the less than and greater than signs.
Right. I'm actually not even sure, but
I'm sure they have an actual name. The advantage of being on a computer.
Right.
Yeah, I googled it too.
What does it say?
It says less than greater than.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody can see this. Every tag in HTML. Opens and then closes, and it opens with a less than and greater than, and in between the two you have the name of whatever tag it is. So in this example is H1. I mean, it'll be whatever you're using. There's paragraph tags, H2 tags, anchor tags, which are links, images, animation, scripts. Everything is going to start like this, and then everything is going to end with a closing tag, which is the same exact thing with a / in front of whatever the name of the tag is.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming H1 is a header of some sorts, right? It's like a specific heading.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right on. So it wants me to print hello world in this. So right now, I think it's as simple as really writing world in here.
And then click run the test.
Right on. Let's see if that's right.
Oh, you can also do Control-Enter to like submit and to like also accept.
Oh, instead of seeing this thing pop up.
Yeah,
it'll pop up no matter what.
But instead of clicking run test, like if you're already like in the code editor, just press Control-Enter and it'll also run the test. Just a little shortcut. You don't have to.
Instead of going down and pressing run the test.
Yeah. Gotcha. Just in case you like keyboard shortcuts, like
right.
So that first one went over the H1 tag. This second lesson is just going to cover H2. It just wants you to make an H2 tag from scratch.
Right.
And I believe at near the bottom it says it wants the H2 tag to say cat photo app.
Gotcha.
And it goes into more detail. Anybody following along with this, we encourage you to read in to this. We're not going to read it all out because
but
you guys can do that yourselves.
Yeah, good point. It looks like these are all unique. H1, H2, H3, they're all sort of different. Yeah, they're all sort of different things.
You know what you could do, Philip? Throw out like an example of each one. Just do H2 through 6 tag.
Sure.
Of just put something in the middle.
Yeah. Or you could just copy and paste the first line and then just edit the like numbers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good idea. H2.
And this will actually teach us the difference of each heading.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have us do it in the later stages, but
probably. But it doesn't hurt to do it now.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, while you're doing this, really the main difference between each heading is the size. So I believe each heading is like a bolded version of whatever text it is. And then it just goes down in size. So H1 is the biggest, and then H6 is the smallest.
As you see in the far most right pane. Here you see it, people.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks for showing me that. I'm gonna.
So I want you to make an H2 tag.
Right on.
This is cat photo app. It is a little bit more nuanced. This is something that will be covered later on. The H1 tag is kind of special because I believe they're called text-to-speech readers for like disabled people. I think mainly blind people use them. That software will use the H1 tag to kind of pull as the like title of a website, quote unquote, if it's undefined, or the title of an article. And so what you use for your H1 tag is fairly important.
Interesting.
But that is something that'll be covered later on. FreeCodeCamp is really awesome. They have an entire like chapter dedicated to making sure your websites are built towards stuff like that. It's actually part of this one. It's called Applied Accessibility, where they go over how to build a website that works with people who are impaired visually, auditory, mobility, or people with cognitive disabilities.
Right on.
Alrighty.
For this one, I think I'm going to be using a paragraph element. So this is where I believe most of the text pertaining to whatever you'd be building would be in here.
Yeah, exactly. This tag's used a lot for like the body text of most like articles or anything, you know.
Right.
The H's usually are reserved for like headings, and then obviously using the different numbers, you can set like a visual hierarchy. But yeah, the paragraph is kind of like the base like text element that you use to like insert text.
Oh, and interesting convention here, Ricky. They want you to have all the HTML tags lowercase. I did not know this in particular.
Yes. So
yeah,
a lot of programming languages are case sensitive. In fact, to my knowledge, I can't think of one that isn't. And HTML is no exception. All of the tags are written in lowercase. And if you write one in uppercase, I don't believe it works. Change H2 to uppercase H. See if it changes.
Yeah, I'll run it, but it might.
HTML can be pretty smart, and it might be able to still just work with it. But it
change both of the H's on both.
Oh, on both of them. Yeah,
it is probably considered like best practice to.
Yeah,
use only lowercase.
Yeah, it's probably a good practice to use lowercase. So I got it here and wants me to say I'm a tag.
No, it wants you to say hello paragraph.
Oh, good eye. Thank you, Joe.
And it's as simple as that. And like we said, these beginning lessons are very fundamental. Simple things. They shouldn't take too long to get right. But I think we'll pretty quickly get into stuff that'll take some more time, especially when we get into CSS.
Yeah, that's when you start getting to like the fun stuff.
Replace the text inside your PL with the first few words of this kitty Ipsum text. So could it as simple as a copy and paste?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yep, exactly.
Real quick note here. The text that they're using, the Ipsum.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Lorem Ipsum Text?
Ipsum Text, yeah.
Lorem Ipsum Text is used as a placeholder when building websites. It's supposed to mimic like the look of a paragraph without actually being the content that you need. So say you were building a website for a client that they didn't have like a full description of an item.
Right.
but they wanted to know what the description would look like once it was filled in, you could fill it in with Lorem Ipsum. And it would give you like a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like.
Right. It's sort of used for like a visual cue.
Yes.
Right
Exactly.
on.
Yeah.
And then a lot of what do they call those, Ricardo? The text editors for coding specifically?
Oh, I think they're like IDEs, right?
Yeah, IDEs. A lot of
Right.
IDEs will have like auto generators for Lorem Ipsum built in, which
Oh,
makes it
interesting.
really easy to use. But I think you're missing the yeah.
Got it. I think we're good to enter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Perfect.
So they're gonna ask you
Sure.
to donate, but you could just ask me
Yeah,
later.
let me put my credit card info on stream. Honor system, everyone. So comment and commenting. So I imagine when you comment out sections of code, it won't run, and sometimes it's just used for like human readers or for yourself to talk to yourself for your own program, right? What would you guys add to that?
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're like working with like a team of other developers, you'd probably
Right.
leave like just, I don't know, something like maybe if you need to leave a note for them,
Right on.
something like why you did something, or it's just all general notes and stuff.
I see. So this one is basically 2 dashes, an arrow, and you got it. You have it like this. Now, my question is, could I do something like this? No, that did not look like it worked.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like it worked. So I have to begin my comment with this?
Yes.
I got to end it like that? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and just to expand on it a little bit more, comments are important because,
Right.
like Philip said, they sit outside of your coding. They're not read by, in this case, it'd be your browser, but a comment in any programming language is just not going to be read by whatever is parsing the language.
Gotcha.
And comments are useful, one, because other people looking at your code will be able to understand what's going on. It's important to comment and explain something complicated that you're doing, or distill down like a really long section of your code to a small comment that just explains what it does real quick. And also, if you're working on something unique and you come up with like a really weird solution, and 2 years down the line it breaks because of an update and you need to come back and fix it, and 2 years later you built this weird solution to something and you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know what I did here. Comments can save you from that. It's very important and useful to get into the habit of using comments early on.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, just documenting your code in general, I feel like it's a pretty big skill.
Big convention.
Yeah, great convention. That's a better word.
So as everyone saw, I was able to uncomment by just getting rid of the bracket with the exclamation point in that, and I'm gonna run the test. That should be good.
Yep.
Right on.
You're on fire, dude.
Thanks. You guys are great teachers.
Thank you.
So this one is going to
go for it.
So this one, they just want you to create the comment instead of deleting it. And they basically want you to isolate your H1 and your P elements in their own individual comments.
Gotcha. Comment out your H1 and P element, but not your H2. So I can do that. Like, is that right so far?
Yep.
And I'll add my H1 and my. So leave my H2.
Leave your H2 alone.
Uh-oh.
You broke it.
I broke it. Microsoft, you have to hire me now. So I started my comment for this paragraph, and I'm gonna end it here.
Yeah, comments are always less than exclamation mark dash dash, and then they end with a dash dash greater than sign.
Right on. Do you guys have another comment about the the comment section?
Not really. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, not really.
Right on. Let's go to the next one. So we're gonna delete some HTML elements. Our phone doesn't have much vertical space. Delete your H1 element. So pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah,
I
you're
can
just getting rid of what they
highlight the
tell you
whole
to.
thing. I'm gonna press backspace and then I'm gonna run it.
Simple.
Main header, footer, nav, video, article section. Okay, so it looks like there's elements of the website.
Yes.
And yeah.
So we can actually go into a little bit more detail here, talking about each of these.
Yeah, please do.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're just kind of introducing them. But I feel like a lot of these, like the main, the header and the footer, as well as like the article and section, as well as the nav, I guess, all of them except for the video one, they're mostly to like separate the web page into like sections. Obviously, the header and the footer are self-explanatory. The nav as well, it's like the little navigation bar at the top usually.
Right.
But yeah, the article and the section tags are just to kind of split the web page into like sections, and then you kind of fill it in with other elements.
So real quick, as an example of the main tag is going to contain all of your like visible content to the user. So any headers, any paragraphs, a navigation menu, videos, images, articles, and sections are all going to go inside of a main tag. And anything outside of the main tag would be stuff that isn't seen by the user.
Interesting.
Stuff like scripts. You know, it's the user doesn't read scripts. Those are just parsed automatically by the browser.
I hear you.
I mean, it doesn't really go into a ton of detail about what each one of those is, huh?
Yeah, no, I think it just wanted to get you used to seeing them and just knowing that there's like a bunch of like HTML elements. Yeah, but it's not gonna go too in depth yet, I think.
Real quick, Philip, open up another tab and search for W3 Schools.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome resource.
This is an amazing website that everybody should use. Go to references at the top and just click on HTML. Or maybe
which one?
Do tag reference. So W3 Schools is basically a reference. They also have some tutorials, but I mainly use it as a reference for HTML, CSS. They have them all at the top. JavaScript. Is it SQL? It's SQL, right? That's how you say that?
Yeah.
SQL, yeah.
Python, PHP, Bootstrap, and then Java and some jQuery.
They got everything.
Yeah, that right there, they have all of the tags for HTML.
That's a lot. It's expensive.
Nobody has to memorize them all. It's important to know the basic ones, like, you know, like anchor tags, which are links, navigation, paragraph, headers. I don't think you really need to remember what a small is or SAMP. I don't even know what a SAMP is.
Right.
But W3 Schools is a great reference to use when you're working through these problems and just to use in general when you're coding. Because you're coding, you're not going to know everything that you need to write every single time. There's going to be plenty of times when you're writing real code where you need to reference something and figure out how to do exactly what you want to do. Okay, I just wanted to point that out because once we get more into it, because W3 Schools has, in a lot of cases, a better explanation of what something is than a FreeCodeCamp. I found it really useful for CSS.
I hear you.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to ask real quick. So for this one, could I just create another P element like this? I see.
Oh yeah, that's a sort of thing. Yeah, P elements. It doesn't have to be inline, so it doesn't all have to be on one line. It can be, or it could be on multiple lines. You could type that paragraph, and then you could place the closing tag 40 lines down, and it'll still read it.
So I don't have to. Oh, but it's telling me to make a second one though, right?
Yes, it wants you to make a second one.
Right on.
Which you just did. And then There's a
Now
second part to this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it wants me to create a main and nest
Yeah.
the. Is that right? Just these two.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
And it looks
Okay.
like I might have been wrong. So real quick, can you go to the W3 schools and figure out what the main tag is exactly? Because I might have been wrong. And you could search for it at the top right. Or you could search for you could search for it there. So the main content of a document.
Is this right?
Click on it. Does it go into more detail?
Oh, it goes into a lot of detail.
Yeah. So this is what's awesome about W3 schools. So here we go. Right there, that second paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So the content inside the main element should be unique to the document. So I was wrong. Not all of the content's going to go inside of it. Not every visual thing is going inside the main element. According to W3 schools, it shouldn't include things like navigation links, copyright information, stuff that is going to be on every single page doesn't need to go inside the main element. And this is probably the reasoning behind this is probably before like text-to-speech readers. They probably search for like the main element of a web page, and that's what they start reading. So, okay, you can go back. I just wanted to cover that real quick because I noticed that it wasn't having you include the H2 element.
Yeah, that's good. We're gonna need to go back, Joe. Let's see if this runs. Right on.
Nice and easy.
Add images to the website. So there's an image element, and then we could use the source attribute.
Yes.
Image source equals. Oh, interesting.
So I think this is the first time they give us an attribute. So every tag. Okay, so how would we explain this? Ricardo, can you explain attributes a little bit?
Yeah, so certain tags have like specific attributes, and obviously it varies from tag to tag. Like the image tag obviously has the source attribute, has like an alt attribute. I believe like video tags also have the same similar attributes, and basically they're kind of like parameters you pass in to get it to do a specific thing. So in this case, for the image one, it has a source attribute which you can pass in like a URL. I believe you can even pass in like a file path, right? Sometimes?
Yes, you can. Whatever folder the website is being hosted on, whatever folder that specific web page with that image tag is in, you could access by just typing in the name of the image you wanted to use. Or you could use a file structure, as in like, if I have an images folder I need to go into, I could do images / image name as my source instead of using a URL. And I believe the other attribute they give you is alt, and alt is a disability thing. Alt is the text that is displayed if an image can't load, or if something parses through the language and doesn't read the image. Like a text-to-speech reader isn't going to... It can't read an image. So instead it reads the alt text for an image, which would typically be just a description of whatever the image is.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I think...
yeah, exactly. It's an accessibility thing,
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit easier.
And I think, like, for example, another attribute that you can do for images is, like, sizing. You can set the height and the width of an image. And then there's a few different things you can use. You can set percentages, pixels.
Yeah, you can do like inline styling and stuff. But yeah, basically it's kind of like it's a variable you pass into the tag and it'll do something specific with it, and it varies from tag to tag.
So it's gonna want you to add the alt attribute,
and I can type whatever I want.
Yes.
Up, side, down, kitty.
Yeah. And then it doesn't matter. Real quick.
It's self-closing, right? So I can just press that. I don't have to do.
Yes. So this one is one that doesn't need a closing tag.
Right.
Because it's all contained into one. Real quick at the end, after upside down kitty.
Yeah.
Add another attribute. set it to, let's call it, oh, would it be image height or would it just be height?
So how would I do that?
So let's search for it on W3 Schools. Go to W3 Schools, and at the top right, search for image on the navigation bar. Oh, that works too.
Yeah.
IMG. You have to use the tag, not the
Oh,
full
right
name.
on.
Click on that. And if you scroll down, I think it'll give you a list of attributes you can use. So there you go. So width and then height.
Okay.
So try giving that kitty image a certain width or height.
And then it's just as easy as a number. Oh,
Yeah,
I have to put
it goes in between quotes. So you can use numbers. Numbers would represent pixels. So you see it shrunk a tiny bit.
Yeah, and then height. I'll just
do something crazy. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I see it. Interesting.
You can also use percentages, which would pull like percentage based off of something. Ricardo, can you help me out here?
I think it's based off the like screen height or like the browser,
or maybe
display.
The size of the parent element.
Yeah, or sometimes depending on like the actual like styling of the element, if it's like relative or absolute.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get more into that like in the CSS. But yeah, basically the percentage just takes a percent of like the actual browser width or height depending.
So
that's better for like responsive
pixels, right, or something.
What was that?
I said, is it like the amount of pixels?
Not always. Right now you're working with pixels. That 300 represents 300 pixels. If you used like 30%, the way it is now, I believe it would take up like 30% of whatever's available.
Like
so
that?
Change the width to 30%. It should be like 30% of that width available. And if you resize that right section, so you can actually click and drag. You see that gray line right separating your section, the coding section and the display?
This one?
Yeah, resize that.
Make which one bigger?
Just click and drag. It doesn't matter. And then change the width to 50% and then resize it again. And watch the image change.
Interesting.
So it's always going to stay 50% of that. Thing.
Right on.
And then this is getting into like how you build responsive websites, like Ricardo said. I believe like another metric you can use is like based off of the height of the font or the size of the font, which is still a little complicated for me because I haven't messed around with it too much. But yeah, and then anytime you're adding attributes to a tag, that's how you do it. You type the name of the attribute equals, and then usually the value is inside quotes.
Right.
So Philip, you're doing something a little odd here. It teaches you to not put spaces in between the.
Oh, between these things.
Yes. I'm not sure.
It just makes it more readable for me, but if I can stick to convention.
Not in between the attributes rather, but like after width, instead of a space equals space, you just do equals 50%.
So like this.
Ricardo, do you have any idea of whether that would be an issue?
I don't think it'll be like an issue with like the program reading the code, just because I think it usually ignores white space. But I think it's more of a like a convention or like a styling issue type thing.
You don't want the white space.
Yeah, exactly. You want to reduce the white space just because it takes up more space, more characters. Yeah, and then it's a little bit more readable if like the attribute name and the attribute value are closer together. But yeah, you can still leave the space between the attributes, just like
I think it's definitely more readable if you leave the space between the attributes.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think that'll run with you might have to delete the width and height.
Oh yeah.
But you can try. And just like that. Yeah. So let's see. Where are we at?
We're at the anchor. Should we?
So anchor's a huge one. I just want to see how many we've gotten through. So we're on Anchor.
I could probably see from. We went 9. We're on the 9th one, so we did 8.
Oh yeah, we're on the 9th one. Cool.
Up to you guys.
How are you guys feeling? We've only been live for. We've been live for 35 minutes already.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Let's.
If you guys want, let's squeeze out. You guys want to do 14 just to have it there? Up to you guys, but
Let's do these last 2 Anchor, because I feel like we can talk about this a little bit, and then we'll end the lesson there, if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, that works for me.
So, Ricardo, can you give us a little rundown of Anchors?
Yeah, basically, anchors are like links. They're basically links, or like hyperlinks, like in a Word document. You can give it like some text, and then you give it like an href attribute, and that's just basically the link that you want the text to lead to when you click on it.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like if you write it in, it'll show up as like a little blue text with like an underline. So it really does look just like a hyperlink.
I think it's gonna have you do that right now. So go ahead and I want you to do what it says. I want you to make an anchor element that links to that.
I would do this in main, right?
Yes, this would probably come in main.
I think it'd be better under the cat photo, or it doesn't really matter actually.
Right on.
So this will be one that has a closing.
Then they want me to put this in here.
Yes. And your href or href is wherever the link is leading to. It's your destination.
Yeah, and I don't know why at first it really threw me off that for like the image they use like a source, whereas for the link they use the href. But I think what the difference is for the image, you can actually use like a file path as well. That's why it's like source, whereas the href I believe only refers to like a HTTP link.
Actually, for an anchor, you could do another like HTML file inside of a folder.
Oh, that's kind of interesting then. I wonder what the difference, like why they chose to use like href versus source.
I believe it's because for an image, the source is being pulled from something. And for an anchor, an href is like a destination. You're not pulling any information. You're just going somewhere.
Oh, it's like a ref. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I wonder what href actually stands for. My guess is hyperreference. Let's see if it specifies.
See if it tells me. I'm on W3 school, so I could probably look it up with you.
I don't think it says.
Oh, my bad.
It just specifies the link's destination. And a link does have an opening and closing tag, and there's always something in the middle, because if you delete cat photos, I don't believe the link will even show.
Do you want me to delete the...
Just erase the cat photos text right there.
This one?
Yeah. See, and the link disappears. So you need something in between your opening and closing tags to represent that link. And it could say whatever. But and then getting into a little bit of nested, you could copy that image and stick the image in between there, and then the image would become the link.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
You guys cool to run this one?
Yeah.
I think you're good. And then I believe later on it'll go over the target attribute for... Oh, never mind, it does it right there. So that, real quick, that first anchor right there on line 4 of your code has target _ blank. That's how you open a link in a new tab. So if you don't have that target, when you click on a link, it opens it in the same exact tab that you're using. So it'll change the web page. If you have target _ blank, it opens a new tab and opens that link there. Me personally, I think everybody would probably agree that when they're clicking on a link, they prefer when it opens in a new tab.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good practice. Yeah, I think it's good it's best practice to use that target underscore blank. And there's probably a few more targets that it'll go into.
Also, this can lead you to specific sections of the web page. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's what this one's talking about. This one's talking about like the internal links. So you can link from like that hyperlink text to like another HTML element. And in this case, it's having you use like the ID attribute,
Right.
which the ID attribute, it barely introduced it, but it's basically just like a unique identifier for a specific element. And you can assign like whatever you want as the ID attribute. But I do believe the convention is to use something different for every like element you use an ID for.
I believe an ID has to be different. So there's ID, and then the other one is it a class?
Yeah, and class is the one that's usually used for like styling, but you can
Yes.
use either or for styling.
So a class attribute is something that can be reused. So, for example, say you're building a website and you have a bunch of images on this page and they all need to like be the same size. Instead of creating each image and giving it that size, you can instead give each image a class of, call it whatever you want, call it image. And then somewhere else you would specify that for every class, every item with the class of image, it's going to have this specific size. This is something that we'll definitely go into more with CSS.
Mm-hmm.
IDs, on the other hand, are completely unique to the specific element you give them. So if you create an image with an ID, you cannot create another image with that same ID. I don't believe it works. At least if it does work, you're not supposed to do it. IDs are supposed to be unique.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have like one special thing on a web page, you can use an ID. I think in this case they have you use an ID.
So
this one's a two-parter.
So before the footer?
No.
So
I think you got that first part down, and then now you have to go down to the actual like footer element and give it an ID.
yes. So what you basically did there was you set the destination, the href for that anchor, to the ID of footer, and an ID is always started or designated with the pound sign or the hashtag,
Right.
and then the name of the ID.
Mm-hmm.
And so your href is the ID of footer, and then down at footer, you need to give it an attribute of ID, and then it's going to be called footer, not hashtag footer.
Value of footer to, would it be
Just footer?
Right
No less than sign. Yeah, you should be good there. And then when you click on the jump to bottom on the right side,
right,
it'll pull you down to show you the footer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, this should be good to go.
Yep, I believe so.
Right on.
Oh, and then you also remove the target underscore blank.
Right, we did that.
Because if you hadn't have done that, it would have jumped you down to, or it would have jumped you down to the footer in a separate tab. It would have opened up a new tab and put you down there.
Right on. Well,
so
if you guys are feeling good here, I
feel like we can pick up on the anchor tabs again for the next episode. That way it kind of like naturally segues into it.
Right.
Yeah, I think we covered a pretty good amount. We did a lot more explaining than I thought we would, to be honest.
Likewise, yeah.
We went into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
We covered some basic stuff. We're getting into slightly more complicated things. And then looks like next time we pick up, we're going to go more into nesting with anchors.
Right.
And looking ahead, we have...
I would like... so the next one we'll be talking about nesting an anchor element within a paragraph, I do want to go over what we went over today.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can do a quick recap.
So quick recap, we went, saying hello. We worked with HTML elements. We have learned about comments. We learned about paragraphs, different headers. And then there's also
the lorem ipsum, the placeholder text.
As well as being able to add images, and then adding external links. And something that I found interesting was even clicking on a link that will lead you to a specific part of the web page. I like that part as well.
Yeah, when I found out you could do that, I was kind of like mind blown. I always thought it was gonna be like, a hyperlink leads to a separate page. That makes it really convenient to like make like little navigation buttons, or like if you have like a really long website, you could put a jump back to the top button at the bottom, or like a little link. It's really useful.
Yeah, so next time I think we'll be able to hash out the HTML section and probably one or two more of these sessions, and then but I felt pretty good today. I went from not really knowing too much about HTML to being able to probably having some headers down, having a placeholder, having pictures up, and having a link to another tab. That's pretty cool. So thank you guys for helping out, and yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Yeah, I feel like with what you learned today, you could probably make a simple like text website, like, or maybe like a little article or something. It'd be very simple, and obviously you got to learn more stuff to like style and deploy it. But like you could, like you saw the cat photo app, the last like little section we had, it already looks like a little website, like a really basic one.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Yeah, anything else from you guys?
No, you did amazing, dude. You ran through that, honestly.
Thank you. You guys explained things pretty well.
One more thing. Is there any way for you to stream your desktop, Philip?
Yeah, I can.
Or if you prefer, I could do it.
Sure, you can do it. What do you want?
I want to show everybody real quick how to set up a basic HTML file so that they can practice on their own if they want to.
Oh yeah, that'd be convenient.
So do you want to do it, or do you want me to stream?
What would I need to have open?
You would basically just need a notepad file open. You need to make a file called call it index.html.
Okay.
And
save it.
Just open it. You can open it with Notepad or whatever. There are programs that are made for like writing code. You don't need to use those.
Let me switch over, but that's a good idea.
Unless you happen to have like Visual Studio Code or something on your computer. Do you have like Notepad++?
No, I have Python.
I think that'll work. So really all you need to... Well, okay, what do you mean by Python? Is it a compiler or...
Yeah, a compiler. Like I have idle. I think
that's not idle. I don't think that'll work unless you can make a separate file type with that.
No, I think Notepad is good for now.
Do you have Notepad open right now?
Yeah, what would I name this?
You're going to name it index.html. That's going to be the file name. So anybody who's making who wants to practice on their own, all you have to do is make, really it can be any name to start out with. For your websites, the first page that is always read by the browser is index.html or index.something. Sometimes it's a PHP file.
Right.
But it's always called index. So you start your website with index.html, and then the first line in it is an opening tag. It's exclamation mark doc type, all caps. Yep, all caps, space, and then HTML in lowercase. And then close it, and that's it. And that opens up. And then underneath that, you're going to have an opening HTML tag, and then a closing HTML tag, and everything else is going to go inside of it, I believe. Is that correct, Ricardo?
Yeah, I always forget the exact syntax just because if you use VS Code, there's these things called emmet abbreviations, and they really make it like much faster and easier to type that. But here, I'll double check on W3 Schools just to be sure.
Because I want everybody to be able to practice this. So yeah, so you have the doctype.html. Underneath that, create a tag called HTML.
Just HTML.
Yep, and then create a closing one for that as well.
Sure.
And then everything is going to go inside of that.
Yeah.
And then from there, you could actually start just coding. There is best practice to like, throw in that header or a main or something.
Right.
Or like the head.
But from there, yeah, you can make a web page. Just make something basic. Do like a hello. This is my website. Or there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I could just open this.
Yep. Save it. Save it as index.html, and then
open it in Chrome or something.
Double click it, and it'll open in Chrome. And then you did make a mistake. You did opening h1 tag, and then you closed it as an h2 tag.
Oh, thank you.
So just save that as. It can be anything.html. It doesn't really matter. Not at this point, at least. That way, anybody watching this is how you can get started messing with this.
So how do I open this in Chrome?
So minimize it, go to wherever it is, and then just double click it.
Or I think you can like right click and select like open with a specific web browser if you have multiple.
Sure. I want to try that. Yeah.
On my computer, it'll automatically open with a browser because it's an HTML file type. But
Let me switch over. I got it. My bad, guys. I got it.
It's all good. I just kind of threw this in there because I thought it'd be useful last minute.
It is useful.
There you go. So
yeah, look.
Yep.
Nice.
And then real quick, open it back up real quick and just make a small change to it, and then refresh it in the browser after you save it.
Sure. I'll make a small change.
Yeah, see, so you could technically just write a little basic, text-based website on that notepad file, and then you could run it locally on your browser.
That's cool. Yep. I love Ricky and Joe and myself and America.
And there we go.
There we go.
Just like that. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the lessons here. I think we got a little bit of time. I'd like to spend like 10 minutes just chatting with you guys, just bullshitting.
Sure.
Anybody who's just here for the programming, you can go ahead and hop off. Next episode, we'll pick up where we left off, continuing HTML.
Stay with us and shit talk a little bit. You
know?
Listen
to us. Just shoot the shit.
We're three guys, man. Anything else?
One of my favorite sayings I ever heard was "shoot the shit until we run out of ammunition."
Yeah,
I think it's so clever.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and close your stream.
For sure.
Just so we can get some videos. Oh, so what have you guys been up to, Philip? Philip and Ricky. Philip, you just moved to Iowa. Ricky just moved to. It's right outside of Berkeley. I forget what it's called. I'm jealous.
You're jealous?
Yeah, I'd like to be out on my own.
I hear you. I am.
No. Yeah, I mean it's definitely fun, but it also comes with its like responsibilities, Definitely have much less time to like do certain stuff, can't play as much games and stuff.
But stressful. You got to done.
It is nice though, getting the chance to be like independent and
You're young.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good, Joe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully sometime soon. I got paid Friday. Miranda and I actually worked together and helped make a budget for me.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
I'm not great with money.
Mm-hmm.
I got into some credit card debt early on out of high school, and I've been working on trying to pay that off, but I don't. I think I would say that I wasn't taking it as seriously, or I wasn't applying myself enough to really pay it off. And so I got sick and tired of it, and Miranda and I have really been thinking of like we would eventually want to move in together, and to make it easier to afford, we don't want to have any debt if we can avoid it. And stuff like credit card debt is definitely avoidable.
Oh, for sure.
And so we spent a couple of hours Friday night putting together a budget, and it's a bit eye-opening. Figure out how much money I've been wasting and stuff.
I hear you.
It's
good on you, man. Good on you to try to get out of that pitfall early, you know?
Makes me feel a little bit more confident. It's nice to have a plan and like know exactly how much money I can spend every day and not like spend too much.
Yeah, good on you, man.
Because there's been times where I've blown through like most of my paycheck through the first weekend. And I've done really good so far this weekend. I just gotta hold out till next paycheck if I can. What about you guys? Do you guys budget, or do you guys just kind of are you guys good with money?
Ricky, you go ahead.
No, I'm that's also something I'm working on, you know. I haven't really started like a budget, but that's something I've been like wanting to do and looking into. Just cuz like sometimes you don't realize how much money you're spending. You just especially I don't know, no one wants to really think about money, you know, like you work and you have your money, you want to be able to at least go out and
you just want to like
for yourself, you know. You don't want to be thinking about it, but honestly sometimes you gotta, you know.
Yeah, man. To answer your question, Joe, I'll say this. I have friends that I know personally, they spend hundreds of dollars every day on just clothes or games or items or whatever. Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
What do they do?
And then I have people who spend like $20 on food for like the whole week. They just eat hummus and bread.
Bro.
You know,
so
I just become a hermit.
I got two extremes.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know where I lean. I think I lean towards I don't spend $200 a day on clothes, but like I'm definitely not spending $20 on just food a week, you know?
No, I feel food's a big one for me. That's hard not to spend on, because like I don't know, food's really good. It's comforting, you know, and
food is food is.
And it gets pretty expensive though if you eat out a lot. Like it adds up.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I go ahead, Joe. I was gonna say.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I live in Iowa right now, and it's actually quite cheap, and I feel a bit more comfortable like spending more on food. But man, when I was in California, everything was just more expensive. Is
like food cheaper out there, or?
Yeah. I told Ricky I've been getting like these $5 pizzas. It's like Blaze Pizza, but it's only $5.
Like we have Little Caesars out here. Is it better than Little Caesars?
Yeah, it's like your own personal pizza. Like
That's
you get
nice.
to make it. Yeah, and then what do you call it? My roommate, he's from Minnesota, and he was telling me, it's not that shit here is cheaper. It's where you came from. It's just super expensive, man.
Yeah, cost of living in California is
outrageous,
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I mean things are a bit cheaper here. But Ricky, SoCal versus NorCal, what's more expensive? The battle between the two, you know?
No, honestly, I think NorCal, like,
whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it in terms of like rent, it's pretty close, but like NorCal, I feel like it's more dense, or at least where I'm at. And then I don't know how gas prices are in SoCal right now, but they're like $4.50. They're almost like $5 up here. It's kind of crazy.
I think $5 up here, up where you are.
Yeah, where I'm at, it's like $4.59. I don't know. I don't even remember exactly, but it's almost at $5. And I don't know. I'm just kind of shook. I don't know.
$2.60 here. $2.70.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
definitely. Like
$2.60.
Let me see if I can find out.
I bet you Ontario is like $4 like $4.30 or something.
Yeah, I think it's around like $4.30, $4.40 right now.
Crazy.
See, so it's not that much different than like up here, but I don't know. I feel like
that's cheaper. Like going to Arco too. If you go up to like Chevron's always more expensive. Chevron would probably be like $4.60, $4.70 a gallon.
I don't want to get too nuanced into this. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead. Can you say something?
I was gonna ask how the weather was in Iowa. You said it got cold, right?
It's getting chilly.
How cold?
Right now it's sometimes it's the 40s. Today was nice though. Today was probably the 60s, but it did hit 40 a couple of days ago. I think in about a month or two it's gonna start snowing. I never grew up in a place where it like snowed, so that will be interesting to see. I do like the cold, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, no worries. I don't want
Excited,
to
dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. But Joe, where do you want to move? Because you said possibly you want to move.
Up north. Miranda and I have chatted about it.
Yeah.
Originally, like when we first got together back, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was like, we're gonna move to Oregon or Washington, somewhere far north where it's cold.
Yeah.
But as we've gotten older, I can tell that I think she wants to stay a little closer to family. And so lately, I've been looking, when I do look, because sometimes I'll look just to dream a little bit.
Right.
I've been looking at places up in like Redding, which is NorCal,
Redding.
and that's pretty damn close to the border of Oregon. Because I think I want to live up north, because I do like cooler weather personally.
NorCal?
Like what you said, like 60s is perfect weather for me.
Yeah, same. That's kind of like the weather around here. It's been like in the 60s as well.
Yeah, Redding, California. It's up north.
I'll say this, Joe. Obviously, there's a caveat in this, but if you want to live close to family and you want to live in cooler weather, move closer to the beach. Now, the caveat is you need to have a lot of money.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the beach.
Yeah.
Miranda probably would like it, but
not on the beach, but like.
Well, okay, well, when I mean cooler weather, I mean like weather you're experiencing.
Oh, not
like beach cooler weather, which is it's like what 10, 15 degrees cooler. If that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the difference between Irvine and Ontario is significant. Like, because I like to look up.
It can be like it can be like 10 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10, 15 degrees cooler in Irvine than it is in Ontario, just because you guys are.
I want to live somewhere where it's like 60, 70 for most of the year, and it snows. I do like the snow.
Ooh, yeah, that's Bay Area.
I'm excited for you to be able to like live in a place where you get snow. Dude, just wait. You're going to wake up one morning and snow's going to be all over.
It's going to look nice, yeah.
It's going to look awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's one of the things I miss going to visit Colorado and like living out there. Miranda and I want to go to Colorado this winter if we can, probably early next year.
I got to try some stuff in Colorado, man.
Why?
I just got to go try some stuff there. I got to go to Colorado. I heard there's some cool things to do there, cool things to try there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too, most definitely.
Yeah. I'll say this, man. When I was in Michigan, they had some stuff there too. It was okay, but nothing beats the California, California does it.
California's the best?
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying that. Colorado is pretty good too, but enough with the
to brag about. How's the weather up in oh man, I forgot the name again, Ricardo.
Emeryville?
Emeryville, yeah.
Emeryville.
How's the weather? It's like in the 60s as well, I think, like 50s, 60s. So it's pretty cool. I like this kind of weather,
It was cooler today down here. I think it was like 80s today, maybe 70s.
Yeah, see, I forgot it's that warm over there.
Dude, they hit like 100 a couple of days ago, and it was fucking unbearable.
Nutty.
Damn, yeah, 100 degrees? That's kind of crazy.
76 today. It was comfortable. Today was comfortable. It was a nice day. And it's supposed to be cool most of this week. Towards the end, it gets up to 87, so it's a little warmer.
Hey, Joe, can I show you your dream house real quick?
If you want to show me my dream house, okay.
Yeah. I decide for you. No,
60 million? Is that on the beach?
Yeah, check this out. So it's you're next to Ricky, right? Because Ricky's in this area, right? And then you can see Ricky. Yeah,
I have a boat, and I can just like drive over to him.
Oh yeah, you have a boat.
Yeah.
But look at this, dude. For only $60, you can see the
only 60. That's
only $60, man.
A view of the Golden Gate.
You only get 4 bedrooms for $60 million. You only get 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
That's a rip.
I heard 0 is like not even a real number, so really it's like $6.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
0 is
just round it. Yeah.
0 is a man-made concept. It's not real. Look at that.
If I can't divide by it, I'm not gonna pay it. That's an elevator?
Yeah. I wanted to show you. It has an
that's
elevator,
wild.
but where is it? Where's the crazy part? There's a crazy part in here. It has a sauna.
Oh, that's nice.
What?
Yeah,
Built-in sauna? That's
it has
nice.
a built-in sauna. I think this is
The
a
wine room? Yeah.
Wine
damn.
cellar.
smokes.
Damn.
Yeah, Joe, just you can Venmo me.
I'll throw a few bucks your way.
Yeah, okay. I'll close the deal for you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that though, living?
I have a real quick, real short story. I remember one time I was on Zillow, and we found this like 2-bed, 2-bath apartment next to the beach, like right on the beach, for only $5,000. $5,000, right? I was like, yo, we have to buy this now, right? So I called him, and it was like, oh no, it's $5,000 a month, and it's to rent. And I'm like, well, you guys.
See, that's what I assumed. I was like 5,000 a month, and you're like, let's get it. I was like, damn, how much you guys making?
5,000 to buy.
No, there's no way. Not on the beach.
Yeah. No, so I was like, but like, imagine in another universe, they were like, you know what? I like the cut of your jive.
Damn, can you imagine?
Damn, that was our mistake. We forgot to add the month in. You got us.
You know what? We respect you. Sure. You can have the whole thing for 5,000.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I'd be
maybe 100 years ago.
For real.
Before they had Discord.
I was talking to my mom, and this house we're living in now.
Yeah,
I think it's worth like $500,000 or $600,000 because of the housing market right now. My grandma bought it, my uncle bought it brand new in like in the 70s for like 80 grand.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, for 80 grand. And Ricardo's family.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Ricardo's family. Miranda's family. They moved into her house like 20 years ago. They paid like $200,000 for it. And their house, all the houses in this area are worth like $500,000 to $600,000 right now.
That's crazy.
$500,000, damn.
Good on them, man. Hey, bad for us though. We're trying to start our own families and stuff.
I'm hoping. Yeah. I want to save up some money, and if that bubble pops, I'll swoop in and grab something. Yeah, you know what I was actually looking at? I was looking at land, because I was doing some research, and land has not actually like risen up in price all that much. A year or two ago, I was, for the hell of it, I was looking at jobs in Alaska.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to visit Alaska, and I think it'd be really fucking cool to live in Alaska. And
you should talk to Chinmay. Chinmay wants to live in Alaska. He wants to retire in Alaska. But
that'd be cool. I was looking at jobs, and I found a job, and then I was like, you know what? If I got this job, could I actually afford to live there? And so I started looking at places, and the houses you get some nice houses for not too much money. But I found a piece of land, and I swear it was like, I think it was like 10 acres, $10,000.
That's crazy.
Oh, damn.
If I did not have any other debt, I might have bought it. Because 10 grand, say, I don't know how, I'm not too much about, mortgages. I haven't done that much like research into what exactly goes into that. But say I only had to pay like $100 a month for like a 10-year mortgage or whatever. I can afford that easy. That's something I buy and I forget about, and then in 20 years, maybe it's worth some money then, and I can sell it, or maybe it's developed and I'll be able to, or maybe I'll be in a point where I can build a house on it.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad investment. And then I feel like you said, like, just because I feel like the biggest cost, like you said, it's not the land, it's probably like the building materials, right? Because I hear like the lumber gets like really expensive at some points depending on the demand. And then also construction labor is pretty expensive because it's a lot of like manual labor, so you got to hire a lot of people.
That's crazy, man.
So I feel like expensive. So if you invested in some land and you just wait till like for the right moment where the building cost is like at its lowest, maybe, you might be able to like build a nice little house and then like flip it or just retire there.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you said, it's kind of hard to like, buy stuff when you have like debt and you're still trying to get like settled in.
And
But I mean, in the future, man, just keep looking up
something to
like,
look
land
at.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna start looking at land in Alaska now. I didn't know it was that cheap.
Yeah, there was one I saw recently. It was pretty close to Anchorage, I think. It was $100,000, but it was like 100 acres or something like that, and it was really close to the city. It was nice.
Oh damn!
It was like in the middle of the city or something.
In terms of cities, do you guys know, like, I mean, obviously everyone's answer is probably different, but is there like a place where it's almost like a cheat code to be there? Like it's you got opportunity, you got cool culture vibes, you got you got a bit of everything. And I'm just throwing it out, but like people say Austin, Texas is like they have a little California going, and I heard it's nice. Depending on who you are. Go ahead, Ricky.
No, yeah, when you said that, that was like the first state that came to mind. I was like, maybe in Texas they'd probably have something that's just because I've seen that there's some pretty like nice houses that you can get for like a pretty decent price
right, and it's cheaper, right?
But,
and it's cool,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, and then Texas is still a pretty big state, and Texas I feel like it has a lot of opportunities.
Huge.
Yeah,
Texas is massive. All right, I think I gotta hop off. I do have some homework to do tonight.
Yeah,
so if you guys don't mind, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
No, yeah, I'm fine with that. I also have to hop off soon.
For sure. All right, Rick, are we playing?
I don't know if I can play tonight.
Yeah, up to you. Even if you have it downloaded.
Yeah, let me check if it's done.
Yeah, we have to play for hours. We can probably do like one or two small maps.
Like 2-3 minutes or so.
Yeah, no, for fast mode, they have like at least like 15, 20, 30 minutes.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and sign off.
Let's wrap it up, yeah.
This has been episode 2 of the Random Access Energy podcast. You guys, anybody watching this can catch us live at twitch.tv/solving relic, or I need to change the YouTube channel name, I believe, because I think it's still Solving Relic. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. It'll be youtube.com. Search for Solving Relic or Random Access Energy. I will be changing it as soon as I can. Any last final words, Philip?
That's it Ricky? From me, man. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Ricky.
No, yeah, nothing for me. It was fun talking to you guys. Learning a little bit, going through that.
It was a good brush up for me too. I hope anybody watching this caught something that they wouldn't have caught otherwise. And don't forget to follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like. Anything else you could do to support us. Share it. Tell your mom. Tell your cousin learning how to do web development. If you're interested in web development, tell anybody.
Tell the president.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Send a tweet out to the president. You guys have a good night. Everybody have a good night.
Likewise. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.